Thank you so much for watching Landumc Goes There. Please subscribe and hit the like button and the bell notification button. Rolling Thunder is a 1977 American psychological thriller film that was directed by John Flynn. It was based off a screenplay that was done by Paul Schrader and Haywood Gould. That screenplay was based off a story by Schrader himself. The movie stars William Devane alongside Tommy Lee Jones, Linda Haynes, James Best, Dabney Coleman, and Luke Askew in supporting roles. It was released on October 7, 1977 in the U.S., and upon its release, the movie received generally positive reviews from the critics, but the box office tale was totally different. I have to tell you, I saw this film when it first came out in the theaters, and it's one of those that has stuck with me my entire life. There's a scene that's impossible to forget. At least for me it was, and still is. We'll get into that scene a little bit later on. The storyline goes that after enduring 7 years as a prisoner of war in Hanoi, Major Rain returns to his hometown, only to discover that it's changed significantly since he left there. He learns that his son no longer recognizes him, and his wife confesses that she has become engaged to another man, with no intention of ending that relationship. Stoically accepting this reality, Major Rain is warmly welcomed by the community. They even present him with a red Cadillac, plus 2,555 silver dollars in a display case that symbolize each day that he was held captive. These silver dollars draw the attention of 4 outlaws from the border as they decide to steal those dollars from him. After breaking into his house, during the ensuing chaos, they tragically kill his wife and son and severely injure his hand. Fueled by the desire for vengeance, the Major seeks the assistance of his former comrade, Johnny, to confront the thugs in a climactic battle. Now, Paul Schrader, who co-wrote the movie, complained about how the studio completely twisted his original version of the story. He wrote it as a critique of the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War and the attitudes that were pervasive in America at that time. His character of Rain was originally written as a white trash racist, with many similarities to Schrader's more famous character of Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver, his movie from 1976. Bickle, in fact, even makes a brief cameo in Schrader's original screenplay for this movie. In this version, Rain becomes a war hero without ever firing a gun, and comes home to confront the Texas-Mexican community. Rain's upbringing and his hatred that grew while he was in Vietnam slowly came out. This version ends with Rain indiscriminately slaughtering Mexicans, which was completely meant as a metaphor for Vietnam. He goes on to say that he basically wrote the film one way and the studio made it into a totally different film. John Milius said that Schrader wrote the movie specifically for him to direct, but Milius turned it down. He felt that he didn't want to do something that dark at the time, which led to John Flynn directing it. The movie was shot in and around San Antonio, Pearsall, and Del Rio, Texas, in a total of 31 days. And even though the production wanted help from the Air Force in providing some of the establishing shots at the beginning of the film, they completely refused. They wouldn't allow anything to be done at the Air Force Base in San Antonio, nor provide any type of Air Force plane to be used in that airport shot. That's the reason you see a civilian-looking plane bringing home the 4 soldiers. Now, it's somewhat weird for me to see this film and see character actor James Best play a truly evil guy. He plays the Texan in this group of thugs. Best was a character actor that has done tons of television roles. The one that stands out in my mind is when he guest starred on The Andy Griffith Show in 2 season 1 episodes, that being number 3 and number 31. He plays the character of Jim Lindsay, the aspiring guitarist. And then probably his highest profile role was that of Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane on CBS's The Dukes of Hazzard. But in this movie, he is truly evil. And at first, he completely turned this role down because he objected to the profanity in the script. However, he eventually agreed to play the part after he learned that both William Devane and Tommy Lee Jones were attached to the movie. The filmmakers were told by producers to make the scene where the criminals torture Major Rain just as bloody as possible. They described it as doing open-heart surgery. That torture scene is where his hand is jammed into a garbage disposal and ripped to shreds. They wanted huge amounts of gore in this. In doing this, they expected the Motion Picture Board to demand edits, and they were prepared to appeal a potential X rating. But to their surprise, even with all the gore that they had in this original cut of the film, they gave it an R rating and didn't make any request for changes. That scene was wrongly reported as having been edited because of pressure by the Production Code Office. But that wasn't true at all. Originally, when they filmed his hand getting destroyed, it was all visible on camera and was filmed with a fake hand and a lamb shank that made it look very realistic. When the movie was previewed to audiences, audience members reacted so strongly to that scene that they decided to cut it down to nothing, editing it just to the point of his hand being jammed down the garbage disposal. It's said that during that preview, one woman fainted, another one ran out into the lobby, and another guy was so freaked out that he jumped into his car in the parking lot and crashed into another car. After that preview, the studio decided to really cut that disposal scene down. But even with that being said, I can almost guarantee you that every time I jam food scraps down my disposal and turn it on, that movie pops into my head. I can't imagine how it would have affected me had I seen the original cut of the movie. Go back and watch this really intense film. I think you'll enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll continue to chase the classics.